Hello and welcome everyone into another Amplitude Studio stream. I hope everybody's doing fantastic and having a great Thursday. Let's make sure the captions are still working. There we go. Your 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 shirt is the one with black on it today. Hold up.
Yes.
Oh no.
Well, the black is fine. The white hand is.
There you go. I'll be the holder of the captions today. But anyway.
I mean, in fairness to you, we switched chairs like half a minute ago.
We did switch chairs half a minute ago because
it worked fine when we tested it. Then we switched chairs. And
Yeah.
it no longer worked fine. We should have thought that one through.
Well, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I want to read chat today, and I want you to play the game. I feel like it's been how many weeks?
See, your concern was you want to read chat, not chat wants to read you.
I mean, chat spent the last. Oh no! What is my sound on? Our sound is definitely on. If you can't hear us, then there's an issue. Can it? Thumbs up if you can hear us. Thumbs up if you can see us. Yeah, I was about to say, Wolf. I feel like this happened last time, where you were like, hey, like I can't hear anything.
Rob's like, yes, Rob's like, definitely it feels like that. If switching chairs, oh no, OBS is panicking.
Honestly, it feels like a troll because of how many times the mic just doesn't work. Literally every single time I feel like I plug in the mic on the computer at home, it just like it works when I test it, and then the second I start the stream, it changes the source. I don't know what it's doing.
I mean, last week, how we have the headset here of the office, the office for like the remote meetings.
Yeah.
And the morning meeting we usually have, to talk about what we're working on this week, what we're doing specifically today.
Yeah.
Worked fine. And like 2 hours later, I had a different meeting. No audio. They couldn't hear me and anything. And then turn on. In the 2 hours of just lying there on my desk, the headphones had broken.
It's crazy. Technology. We love technology, but we also hate it.
Yes.
All right, everybody, welcome in. How are we doing today? How's your Thursday going? We just had a new follow at 522. Wow, that's cool. It still shows up. Thanks, Clara Yami. And officially welcome into the Amplitude Studios community. Anyways, my name is Jordan. If you haven't met me before, I am a human being, and I work at Amplitude Studios. Stephanie?
And I'm Stephanie. Obviously, I'm also working here, or I wouldn't be here in the office. And just, I'm your community manager. You might know me better as the Cat o' Nine Tails. Well, not all the time the person who posts the blogs anymore, because Sergio is doing a lot of the blog posts for In This Dungeon now. But, a lot of the time when it's Humankind blog posts, you will see me posting them, and, I read your feedback and stuff like that.
Cool. That's us. I hear now I had a problem with Edge, so using Firefox. Yeah, it's yeah. Sometimes it's the browser. I do get that. But anyways, so if you haven't heard, we are doing a little bit of an update beta for the Vauban update. So if you are interested in testing out the update early, that's something that's really easy to do on Steam. Steam is the only platform that you can do that on, though?
Yes, it's only available on Steam right now because I think it's in theory technically possible to have betas on Epic, but it's like way more complicated, and the user also has to do way more steps. Whereas on Steam, it's very easy. You go to your game library, you find Humankind, open the properties by right-clicking it, and then there's a tab on the side that says betas, and then you should have update_preview, because we
update preview.
Yeah, we always have update_preview, but obviously there's not always something new on there. But if we have a beta for an upcoming update, it's gonna be on there. But usually we recommend opting out of it when it officially releases, because the official release will have more bug fixes than the preview.
Yeah, that build won't be updated after the release build is put into place.
Yeah,
so.
Yes, it will not be updated at least until the next time we have a beta. So
yeah, of course.
You would be behind if you stay on it.
And fair enough.
But sadly, discussed with the producers sometimes, about enabling and disabling, blah, blah, and apparently it's a big hassle, so it's easier to just keep it running and ask people to opt out of it.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
I
Well,
mean, the moment you'll notice is if you try to join a multiplayer game and the game yells at you.
yeah. Capcan, welcome in. Cool. So yeah, so we're gonna be playing a little bit more of that. Stephanie's gonna be picking up where I left off, which was our religious pillaging, I guess, that we were taking
Yes,
part
right.
in.
Yes.
Um, we just turned into the Goths, so
Jordan, what is best in life?
uh,
You're struggling to remember the quote. I can
I'm
see it in
trying.
your face.
I'm trying. I don't know. You got me.
What was it? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
Yes.
I was trying to do the Arnie accent. I failed.
No, that was good. That was good. Did it better than I could have done it. How many years since launch now? Well, the second
It
anniversary
came
will
out
be
August
in
2021.
yeah.
I was actually looking that up just today
Well, it's
for
pretty
other reasons.
it's pretty easy for me because that's when I started working here. Is just after the launch. I started working August 31st of August 21. August 31st of 2021. August 21. You know. Yeah. So when I'm 2 years old here, the game will be 2 years old. Capcan, welcome in. How you doing? Thank you all so much for being here. It's fantastic having the community in our streams. We hope that we will have some good fun today. And hopefully, if you haven't seen any of the new update, then we can show you some of the new things, get you prepared for this update that's coming, and hopefully get you a little bit hyped as well, because it's some really good stuff. I'm really excited about a lot of the quality of life stuff because that's my favorite part about a game, is how easy it is to play.
Yeah, the older I get, the more hyped I am about the quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
I have gotten to the stage where it can be like, oh, we added this entire new chapter to the game. Yes, fine. We added this one button that makes your life a little easier. Yes.
Renounce all, baby. What's up, Oscar Arcalis? Welcome in. I remember I was planning to play on the 21st of April release on my birthday, but was delayed, right?
Yes, we had to delay it until it was August 17th that it came out, if I recall correctly. But obviously, when we do our like anniversary stuff, we don't always do it August 17th because there's a risk of that being a Sunday and such. So we usually do it like the week somewhere around the specific date.
What's up, Dr. Kane? How are you doing? Angry Birds will be joining the Sega family. It potentially. They've made an official offer, is all we've heard.
So, would you say that means it's burb season?
I think it might be burb season. Honestly,
I mean, it's about time that it's not Wabbit season anymore.
Honestly, I can't even imagine what type of like a cameo we could do with the Angry Birds in our games.
Angry Hishu and all of the enemies are Horatio.
But it's so cartoony. How would it fit with our like art style?
I mean, have you seen Love Thyself?
I mean, yeah.
And like,
when are we gonna make another graphic novel
like,
though?
Literally, we have like comic books, so
that's true. I got a fantastic idea for your next expansion. Add a red anti-hero and call it Humankind and Knuckles. Goodness. Honestly, I think we should have more Sonic references in our games, personally.
We need
hey, what's up, Andrew Channel?
We need to check if we have like a hedgehog symbol, so we can use a blue player color and a hedgehog symbol.
That'd be actually, yeah, that would make a lot of sense in Humankind to have like a little emblem that's a
because
hedgehog.
I have my doubts that we will have an Echidna for Knuckles.
Yeah, probably not. Really looking forward to playing Humankind with the Vauban update. That's awesome. Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be a pretty awesome update, and I'm pretty hyped for it myself. So glad to hear that the community is also feeling that way. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing some videos coming out. If you all don't know Andrew Channel is a content creator over on YouTube. So if you're on Twitch and you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm talking to somebody over on YouTube, and their name is Andrew Channel. And the captions got it right, so you can look them up later. But yeah, heck yeah. What's the one thing, if you had to pick one thing, is the favorite thing that you're excited about?
You
Does the
know, for
game?
for me, that's actually tough. Because on the one hand, oh, that sweet, sweet renounce or demand all button.
I like the quality of life.
But on the other hand, it's cool that we now have the adjacency bonuses on the wonders, meaning that it's no longer always best to build them on some remote peninsula
That looks cute.
that where and also where you get the most exploitation tiles because it's
Right.
far away from your city.
Yeah. No, definitely. Does the game on console is cancel or will I be able to play? So Delu, the console version of Humankind is still being worked on. Our partner Aspire, if you've heard of them, we're working with them to get it out to you as soon as possible, but we don't have a date for you still, which we realize is maybe frustrating, and unfortunately we can't,
Yeah,
you know,
but you know,
give you any more information than that. But
I don't think it would be less frustrating if we kept announcing dates and then moving them.
yeah, I think to a certain extent, yeah, just yeah. I what you said. I don't need to say anything else. You could say you aspire to have the console version ASAP. Yes, that is what we desire. And I truly think that it will come maybe sooner than what people think. Obviously, there are some people that would wish it to be here today.
Yes.
And we wished it was here
Yeah, I
months
mean,
ago, but
exactly. We are included in people who wish it was here today because, yes, as you know, the original plan was sometime last year. I think it was like November.
November of last year, yeah. So we're very sensitive and very aware of how people are feeling about that. So just know that we're doing our best to bring it to you. So it's still coming. We're still working on it.
Soon has been upgraded to sooner than we thought.
Sooner than we thought.
Yes, Akal, but you probably still need that TM on there.
Yeah, sooner than we thought, TM. And you playing for mobile. Khan, you're an optimist. You're a dreamer. I can't imagine
thematically, the idea of a 4X on a mobile game is cool.
Because it's touchscreen.
But because it's touchscreen and also because, you know, you can play a little bit when you're like on your computer and whatever, and like pick the game up here and there. But in practice, it's gonna be tough to make a 4X game, like a full-fledged 4X game, work on a mobile game with like the tiny screen. Like you'll probably need to. I don't think you could port Humankind as is to mobile. Like there's way too many things going on.
It's not streamlined enough for a mobile platform in some ways.
Yes, like the interface is not suitable, the way information displayed, the amount of information you need to display.
Yeah. I totally get that.
But like thematically, I would love it. But yeah, I don't think we can just take this. We would have to gut everything and kind of start new.
I mean, you'd have to code it for mobile anyways, but to make it a completely different game, honestly. I was gonna say VR actually is something that we did think about, because like I think there was some like other 4X game that they're trying to put onto VR where you're like floating above the tiles or something.
I don't know about that. The one project I've heard about that I need to keep an eye on. I would love to try it, but I can't because it's only for the Quest, and my VR headset isn't an Oculus Quest.
There's platform-specific VR games?
Yes.
Oh, I did not even realize that. So there's going to be like PlayStation, Xbox battles in VR?
Yeah, and there's like what it's called. I don't remember the name, but like Paradox partnered with the VR studio to make a Stellaris themed VR game. You know, Stellaris is a space 4X, but the game is actually more like on a ship level where you manage like a science ship or something like that. But it's something, you know, it's interesting. You have this idea of like, you know, having a 4X game and you know manage your units by just, you know, picking them up with your virtual hand, so to speak, because you have the motion tracking controller and move them over the board instead of doing it with the mouse.
Isn't that AR at that point though?
No, if you have like the full
okay.
Full 3D headset, because AR, of course, you know, you could do that with your phone in theory as well. But
I think that'd be cool.
But that would also be cool. But that's like a different experience than having the full like immersive 3D, because yes, it's definitely, you know, the VR games I've played, it's interesting experience when they run well. It's a great experience. When they don't run well, it's not so great an experience because you get very sick when the frame rate isn't good enough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if the frame rate is good enough,
Yeah,
there's still the potential to
yeah, you
get a
always
little
have the
queasy.
potential to get queasy, but I think if the frame rate isn't good enough or you get screen tearing, then it's like almost guaranteed that you
Yeah,
succeed.
fair enough. What's up, Ampo? How you doing? Welcome back in. Thank you for the follow, DL1902, and officially welcome into the Amplitude Studios community. Good to have you here. All right, welcome, Pete. Good to see you as well. Good evening for us, but good morning to you. Yeah, well, let's hop into some Humankind. I would love to see how you deal with the the situation I've gotten us in.
The Ostrogoths,
The
the
Goths.
Visigoths, and the Invisigoths.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
Let's give it a moment here.
let's let it think. In BattleTech lore, a battle was planned in a book anyway with VR, where you ghosted the planning battle maps as the map was around the planner's waist.
So Wolf, what you're saying is we should be initiating enhanced imaging. He will probably get that. Nobody else in general, I think.
Are you talking about when you have like a really low res
No,
image?
it's in BattleTech lore, one of the outside factions had this technology where they had like tattoos that could link to their sensor system, and they would like have a VR like experience of like the battlefield. And the funny thing is, in the cartoon they did in like the late 80s, early 90s, they tried to represent that with like CGI, but it was late 80s, early 90s, so 3D graphics were not great. So you have these like super blocky, low poly mech renderings, and it's like so campy, and the fan base loves it to the point that the goal for like 8 million on their Kickstarter right now is like a box of the minis from that series.
Oh gosh, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, you know what that might have been?
I'm not sure.
Have you remembered to opt into the beta on this PC?
You know, that's a really good question. That's a really, really good question.
Let's pull up Steam here in the library.
Yeah. Well,
No, it does not say beta.
you know, that's really interesting.
Technical difficulties.
You
yes.
know, I'm just gonna say that I was otherwise occupied.
No, I mean I don't blame you. It's very easy to forget, but when you were relaunching, I realized, oh wait, yes, we played remotely last time.
Yeah,
so.
I played from home last week. You're right. This is not the rags to riches scenario anymore. Currently, Pete, we're playing the Vauban update beta. Captions almost got Vauban, but yeah. So this is me trying to exercise my dominion on the world through pillaging and and we're just kind of like experiencing, checking out a lot of the updates, a lot of the stuff in the update. Peace out, Dr. Kane.
Yep. See ya.
Have a good stream today. Try to catch something on mobile. No worries. Thank you for being here. Good to have you. Raul, are you going to give us a little sneak peek of the new cultural wonders? I don't think we're doing any of that. No.
No, I don't think we're ready for the Hotel de Ville de Bruxelles or the Brussels Town Hall yet. We're in like era 2, right? The new wonders in era 4, so we can't show that yet.
Yeah. Sounds great. Cool. It's Humankind. Yeah, it is Changlini. By the way, any merch items available in Europe I couldn't purchase on the website. Are you talking about the Display website, or are you talking about the Boss Bundle website?
I remember there were issues. I don't remember if they got resolved.
Yeah, how recently was this Canber Garabe? It's too long of a name. I gotta call you something else, like Conber.
Canberra Kikarabe? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with Conber.
There's the because you is asking, and oh, there are new ones. Yes, there's
John.
There's the Brussels Town Hall that was part of the community challenge for Amplified. Which, what were the effects again? I don't remember the effects.
You got me.
I think there was something like +4 money on makers quarters and +4 industry on market quarters or something like that, so that each was producing some of the other, and then you could get all those effects for like, oh, you get industry and tax producing industry would apply to your market quarters all of a sudden and stuff like that. And there was one other effect on it, I think, but I don't remember it.
Pete's got a question. He says, Steph, in the prior 3 military scenarios, you put a player in a pickle of some sort. Do you do the same when you make Rags to Riches?
No, Rags to Riches is everybody definitely starts on the on the same level. It's all Neolithic, and it's even, I specifically tried to pick the AI so that they are less likely to declare war. But obviously, there is no AI bias that's like never declares war, so I could only do so much about that. But they're all picked to be like, trusting and loyal and stuff like that. So you don't have like all of the aggressive backstabbers, so you can never reliably build trade. So it should be possible to make some good money with trade. And
I did a pretty good job with the trading.
Yes, but special shout out to Ekarea, who made so much money it broke.
Con, I can't see that link. It's just turning it into asterisks for us. Could you like not put the .com? I was trying to send it somewhere in the US.
Yeah, Akalis, I could have enabled peaceful mode, but I didn't want it to make it completely trivial to keep having peaceful relations. Like, I still wanted, if you piss off the AI, they should get angry at you and try to fight back. And as opposed to, because on peaceful mode, obviously you can antagonize them all day long and they will never declare war on you, and that wasn't the experience I was looking for.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
And obviously, since the last one was peaceful, the next one is probably going to be more militant again, but I think it's not going to be another one of the uphill struggle ones. And also, I might eventually go back and revise those because they were meant to be difficult, but they turned out to be a little more difficult than they were supposed to be. Let me try to remember.
So that's Sergio.
Yes, and we're on good terms, right?
Yeah, Sergio likes us because we're strong.
Well, according to this adjective, he actually worships us.
Yeah, well, as it should be, Sergio, as it should be. But anyways, we just defeated Potato McWhiskey. We put him in his place, but then he kind of has sprouted back up.
Which means that, yes, we should absolutely try to claim this as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, they only have one population. I think we can handle them. We still got our...
we didn't have any faster units anywhere, right?
No, I think we just have axe dudes.
But we do have scouts, and those are like marginally faster because they don't...
this guy's on auto explorer.
Because they don't suffer from the forest penalty. How much foreign...
161, yeah.
Oh, next turn. So yes. So I should take him off the auto explorer.
We're pretty far into the classical era
right,
at this point.
We were wanting to pick the religion. I forgot that.
We did, yes. This was what we left off on last week, which was choosing our religion.
Do we want to put it to a poll?
We can
for the chat while I reacquaint myself with the save.
Sure, yeah.
I think the ones we had had considered were
abstain from intoxicants because we have a national forest.
Yes, and then I think also because of your pillaging strategy, we considered having stronger units, or just getting more support in case it does come to blows.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already defeated the people that we were. I mean, sure, they came back, but I think they're ahead of us too, because. Although we can't see fame.
Ah, right. It's not a rap map. Interesting. So they're all gonna be over in this direction, I think. Which means this is.
We can already see another one of them, yes. The green.
But yeah, I agree that this is perhaps the least appealing one to me, but it would be helpful in case it does come to war, because when we show up and start pillaging their stuff, probably not gonna be fond of that.
No,
so
probably
it's like
not.
is probably an option we should give them between these three.
But yeah, I mean, we could make an official poll, or we could just do the poll of public opinion, which is tell us tell us what you think. We should do the English next. Could be good. I actually don't think I've ever played as the English. Those are the people with the longbows.
I'm trying to figure out if that's an actual suggestion or trying to troll us. Because I'm right now not seeing how the English combined with the Goths, apart from the longbows being very good.
What's the legacy trait of the English?
I think it's just some food stuff.
This doesn't show us the next era though, does it?
It does. Here they are. 7 food per number of attached territories, so that's not. But of course, the longbowmen are very good.
They're very strong.
I think the two we had briefly discussed were the Mongols, because
we did have the garrison synergy, didn't we? Because of the that said something about garrisons on the English.
Yes,
but the Cyclopean fortresses is what we had. It's more the Goths. It combined with Goth. Combined with English.
The Gothic legacy.
Oh,
right. The Goths legacy trait. No, wait, we can't see it here. Right, the influence on the garrison.
There you go. That's what it was.
That's.
See, I was getting there.
We're talking about. I was trying to remember which one you were talking about, but it is definitely also because these like play into the ransacking. This one just gives us 50 flat gold for each of one of them when we ransack, and this one just doubles our ransack gains. So it's a question of what we want to lean.
Double ransack gains sounds pretty great. I've never seen good Mongol gameplay either, other than the computers coming to destroy me. You remember back in the day, back when Humankind first came out and the Huns were just killing everyone?
Yes. But also, I remember the feedback we already got from the Vauban beta about, the AI does expand more. Oh, it's 6,000 fame ahead of me at this point in the game when I usually was only 2,000 behind. Oh no, the AI is good now.
Yeah. I haven't felt like the AI has been bad ever, but, you know, maybe I'm...
But yeah, so anyway. Have we made up our minds on this?
I mean, we already have really cheap units, don't we?
I think this one, it's not about making them cheaper, it's about
more
more
experience. I'm saying with
start.
the industry, like that's probably what we'd use the industry most for. I don't. We have a really big forest though. Look at the size of that. And there's also even forest in our city of Mykene. There's a lot of forest tiles.
Well, there's more over here.
But I don't know. It whatever works. Usually try and get long-range bow troops in this type of game. But lack of ZOC, zone of control in combat, I always go that route.
There is zone of control in combat though. It's just that some unit types get to ignore it. Like light cavalry is not affected by it.
Yeah, are you saying that you don't think that there is or you think there's a lack of zone of control?
You know, the same zone of control on the map where you can't move past enemy armies also works in combat.
Yeah, but I've definitely seen that. Oh, is that one of our units?
Yep. No, we don't have any of those units built to show off, but probably can show in here. You can see there's two different horse icons here, like heavy cavalry and cavalry. And the cavalry, the special ability is
ignores enemy
zone of control. So they can just ride past your...
their horses are too quick.
Yes. And these, you know, they get stopped, but oh boy, that charge bonus. But anyway, confirmed because all of the units are out of move. Let's just slam this down somewhere before the other player can grab it.
Yeah, honestly, the longbowmen just need to be kind of close and then just start wailing on everybody.
You know, I think this was part of the plan here was.
Are we burning it down?
I mean, mostly we're stopping him from
It's good.
attaching it because it's gonna take 10 turns to
I was
burn
gonna
down.
say, it's gonna take a while.
But he can't attach it, so that keeps him a little weaker while we claim the rest here.
Yeah, makes sense.
And in the meantime, these guys can start moving along to try burn that down a little quicker. That reminds. I don't think we ever actually invented our good cavalry. That's like all the way over here.
You know, we're working on it though.
We don't. Okay. When we have the iron, we need to hook up the iron, or we won't be able to build them because they also, are very good at pillaging.
I was on my way there. We were gonna make them.
It's just
cavalry.
It's just in my mind we already had them, but no, I was misremembering the save there.
Makes sense, yeah.
Where do we put
this? What to do?
It is just any adjacent district. Okay.
We also have the mausoleum to build.
We had already placed that somewhere, right? Yes, it's already placed.
Oh, okay, here. We did. Okay, never mind. I take it back.
So I want to try to get the tomb light everywhere because we are very close to advancing.
So help me understand what's different with the wonders. I'm sure there's some people at home that maybe don't understand what's different about it. When you placed them previously, you got essentially exploitations of all the tiles around it.
Well, you still do.
Okay, you still do.
But clearly, you can see here, for example, this one only now grabs signs, and I don't. Let me see. Can we? No. Can we see it here as well? Lighthouse. Yeah. For example, the lighthouse exploits everything. The statue of Zeus is only money.
Money.
The pyramid of the sun is food, and also, however, for example, on wait, where's the one? No, this is the Muslim claim. The +2 influence per adjacent district. That's new. So you have an actual incentive.
Every wonder gives you +2 influence.
No. This is like specifically this one.
Oh, okay.
And for example, the pyramid is food per adjacent quarter, farmer's quarter.
Right.
So you have like.
So you want to surround your wonders by.
Not all of them, but the ones that like. Historically speaking, should be more urban because obviously something like a lighthouse is not in the middle of your city, so that doesn't get a bonus for being surrounded. But something like the pyramid of the sun, which was like a central temple in a big city, that gets a bonus. The mausoleum gets a bonus. I think the church of the Lady Mary of Zion gets a bonus. Per adjacent, and like Stonehenge, I think doesn't because it's very isolated.
Right, that makes sense.
Whereas I think the Pyramid of Giza. No, the Pyramid of Giza also didn't get one. Yeah, that's faith per adjacent district.
Okay.
Which that one, I'm not sure if that one was actually urban. I don't know where it actually was in reality. But like,
heck yeah, Janatan.
It's definitely one of those where it's like
we got you.
That's one where I thought, oh, it could have also been a bonus for like forests or something. Yeah. Thematically, I guess.
Which avatar were you most interested in, Janatan? You here to get that sweet jumbo pixel action, or?
Oh, I guess. I mean, technically, I like the stronger units thing here. But in practice, this is gonna make it so much easier to start trouble with the neighbors in order to pillage them. So I think we need to take this one.
I mean, making it a crime to not be your religion is pretty good.
It's pretty aggressive.
Lewis.
I wouldn't say it's
fair enough.
I wouldn't say it's pretty good. It's pretty aggressive though.
Are you a Shadow of Israfel enjoyer?
That's going way back.
I just feel like they're the type of person that would get that reference.
I mean, I know what it is. I just never watched it. Because I wasn't into.
I was there waiting for the next episode, like every week.
It was just to make sure I remember correctly. It was like one of the Yogscast Minecraft series, right? And like at the time, I wasn't at all interested in Minecraft, and I wasn't even watching like gaming content on YouTube. So it was like doubly not catching my attention.
Wheelhouse. Yeah.
Which doesn't mean it was bad, like, but it was just like outside of my field of interest
still
at
waiting
the time.
for episode 43.
Let's see.
How do we waiting a long time, my boy.
How do we want to expand this city so that we can decide where to place these?
Well,
we have multiple areas here where we can still build one.
Yeah. It's a good question.
I think we have. Okay, this one is already here. So clearly, yeah, more farmers, more industry quarters here.
Mm-hmm.
Where we do it over here? What does it actually really expose? Is there a tile that's not great here?
That's a great question. Late game question about playing Sweden. I'm from Sweden. Congratulations. Who researched our bonuses? Sauna is mostly a Finland thing, and the tech building is our biggest sports area called the Globe. And we only got one.
Yeah, I think
that's a great question.
I think visually it's more like less about finding buildings that are present multiple times in the contemporary countries, because a lot of times, unfortunately, research labs kind of look the same in most Western
Lots of countries have research labs.
So it's more like finding a unique building of that country and using that to base it on. It's probably the same for like a bunch of the other contemporary cultures, except for maybe the Australians, because a strip mine's a strip mine. But even there, you can say like, but it's not unique. We have strip mines.
Lots of strip mines in America,
and we have lots of strip mines in Germany. Well, at least we used to. A lot of them got closed down by now. But so it's kind of a struggle in the contemporary and even like in the industrial era, I guess, to some extent already.
To find something that's unique enough to
or emblematic.
Yeah.
As opposed to actually unique, because obviously it's not entirely unique.
Fair enough.
I'm thinking actually this would be a great tile, but we're not there yet, so I might actually do this. Oh no, I can't get here because this doesn't expand where we can build. I always struggle to decide what to do with the rivers, because it's good industry and it's good food.
Yeah. I want to subscribe for more facts. Yeah. I actually knew this fact beforehand about the coconut water. I have a friend who really was into coconut water, and I say this in the most like serious way, but they were into coconut water. Like they were doing a keto diet, and ketogenesis or whatever usually happens from eating protein and fat and not having any carbs. And usually if you're not eating carbs, you're not getting things like potassium and magnesium, some of the electrolytes. And so they were like drinking coconut water by the bottle every day. And so I learned a lot about coconut water that I never thought I'd need to know about coconut water. Yeah, I didn't know that about the globe, Wolf. That's cool. Thanks for sharing.
I'm thinking,
we call a land explosive that's too weak to hurt you, but strong enough to blow your clothes off.
I feel like Dr. Kane is setting us up for some fun there.
I'm trying to think of what it is. Dang it! You didn't let us. You didn't let us simmer for long enough. You gotta let us simmer so we can think about it.
For YouTube chat, because they can't see. A strip mine.
A strip mine. See, you think about jokes the same way that
this is the kind of joke where like, Dr. Kane, how many kids do you have? Because this is such a dad joke.
Yeah, but he's coming up with the joke by reverse engineering it from the word strip mine and then creating a joke that fits around the word strip mine.
But that is, if you think about it, kind of how a lot of dad jokes work, except they've been handed down through the generations of dads.
I guess. Soap used to be made from animal fat and lye before being mass-produced, and even for a period later. If things are really bad, even a human fat can be used out of cadavers to make fat.
Yes,
but you subscribed for the facts, and you got them.
It's that is a fact that I knew, mostly because I looked up that works after I played Dwarf Fortress and found a bar of dwarven soap, and it turned out this did not mean that was soap made by dwarves.
Or made from dwarves.
Yes.
Made of dwarves, you could
and also,
say.
Of course, it's a big plot point in Fight Club.
I see.
Because they break into the liposuction clinic to steal the fat they've thrown away to make soap to sell to the same rich people who got the liposuction.
The liposuction, yeah. Good random facts. You know, I knew both of these facts actually. I did know about the fat and lie.
Let's, you know, for now, we'll let him live, I guess.
See, what you didn't know about Jordan is that he's very connected to his pioneer roots, because my ancestors were pioneers in America. They traveled from the east out to the west, and in honor of the pioneers, we did a pioneer trek.
Well, claiming this territory clearly didn't quite work out for us.
I still use goat milk soap. That sounds fun. I don't know who Robzig is, you know? I don't know who half of you are. I except for the ones that I met recently when you came over to the studio. But the people that I don't know who you are, like, because I've just only ever interacted with you on the internet, someday I want to know what type of person you are, like, in real life. You know, I want to stare into your eyes and be like,
who are you?
Who is this using goat milk soap making or using steak making, you know, person? I just don't know, you know? I've never met a person like that. By the way, Jordan, what date is it today? That's a good question. I mean, I feel like April 20th is just not what you want to hear. I would scare you, Jordan. Honestly, that's like kind of what I imagine. Most people would be like, oh, they're all so nice and normal, but my brain goes immediately to the weirdest places possible. And I think it's probably because of how much time I've spent on social media. Like, I don't know if I've told you.
Yeah, the internet is a weird place.
The stories of all the people that have DM'd me on Instagram, but like, there's a lot of thirsty peoples out there, and you just get some DMs where you're just like, you're a real person. Like, you're a person that sent me a message, and, you know, like, did you think about that before you did it? So I think I've been trained to imagine the worst.
Well, you know, now I know what parts of the internet you hang out in, I guess.
I'm not hanging out there. They find me. I'm not even going out and asking for it. You post one shirtless pic, and they all come running. They all come running. I'm a fitness influencer.
You don't get to complain about the thirst DMs if you post a thirst trap.
Okay, no. Here's the thing. I don't have any problem with, like, thirsty DMs. The way they go about it is unacceptable.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Just, like, you know, after you're like, oh, you post one shirtless pic, just...
You gotta treat people like a human, you know? You're never gonna get anywhere if you're DMing people, like, stuff, and you're not treating them like a person.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's a lot of people for whom treating others as a person is very difficult.
You're extremely unapologetic both online and IRL, and blunt. I mean, I can get down with that, though. I think that I'm the type of person that could get down with that, because I, too, like straightforwardness. Sure, maybe unapologetic maybe is something that I take issue with, in the sense that, like, being able to accept that you've done something wrong or did something that had unintended consequences. Like, sure, maybe I'm not going to apologize for what I said because I didn't intend the consequences, you know?
Yep.
But I can be sorry for what effect they had, which maybe that's not what you're saying, so maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but my ancestors was Iron Man from Belgium. 300 years ago, we got new iron mines, but no smiths to handle it. No generations later, I'm a soft metal fitter, 2 welders, and my sister's a silversmith. Well, you guys are just metal workers, I guess. That's crazy. It's interesting how it's so generational. I feel like in America, we don't do what our parents did. Like, I don't do what my dad did. Not even remotely close. My brother doesn't do what my dad did.
Absolutely not even remotely close for me either. Given that, you know, when I was young, my father was like, oh, games are a waste of time. There's no money in that. Now it's like an industry bigger than Hollywood.
Yeah. I did play myself in some ways. But I think it's hard to be proud of, like, what you've accomplished when it's something related to your physical appearance. You know what I mean? Because
yep. Well,
it just, like, becomes something that people can comment on, but instead of commenting on, like, hey, I just finished this course, or I just got a degree.
Yeah, but
it's literally you they're commenting on.
yes, but at the same time, depending on how you look, it is potentially something you put a lot of effort into getting that look and maintaining that look. Like
Yeah.
if somebody is very like not like super shredded, like not like super bodybuilder level, but still
Yeah.
athletic and well defined, that takes effort to maintain that.
Agreed. I sweat a lot in the gym. Your father was a Holocaust denier. I wish I had that kind of family.
Ooh.
A metalworking family does sound really cool, though. Me and my friend back in college, we used to always watch the Forged in Fire ones, TV show. Y'all know the Forged in Fire TV show where they like
sounds familiar.
Get a task. So there's like 4 blacksmiths, and they get a task to make like a classic Karamban knife or something, or a katana, or I don't know, any sort of like historical blade type. Like the pirate sword type. I forget what that one's called, but
Cutlass?
Yeah, the cutlass, or I was thinking scimitar actually, but that's more like
the scimitar
Arabian.
isn't
that Arabian or?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it was originated in Arabia, but it's definitely something used by like the Saracens and like were the Saracens under Saladin? The caliphates. But I was just about to say, I thought, he has this area. We can. And he sent us a non-aggression pact, and I was like, it's fine if they have these 2 areas. Now they kind of blocked us off here, so I'm immediately like, so that treaty we signed, no. Like that was kind of contingent on you letting us have a land connection to what we're claiming up here.
No, it's time to put them back into their place. Must be in the genes, as my sister firstly was a hairdresser. Still, she got an urge to beautify silver. Hair just didn't satisfy her.
Can't retreat anymore.
Vanilla is an orchid. It can be grown like many other orchids. You just need to make sure it has dead wood available for its roots to feed enough humidity and water. Vanilla is an orchid. I mean, that makes sense that the pods are kind of orchidly.
Yeah, no. Saying that, yes, I guess it kind of makes sense.
Before you said that, I wouldn't have pegged that as an
orchid. But also, as we established in the previous stream, I think, 2 things, plants, animals, whatever, looking similar does not necessarily mean they're related. It might just be there was a similar niche and 2 independent creatures evolved to fill it.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of shelled things in the oceans eventually evolve into crab.
Yeah. Like a Roman sword or more like a Viking one? I'm thinking of like the curved blade one with the kind of like
Yeah, he was definitely not talking about Gladius.
Yeah. Similar phenotypes with different genotypes. Amen. Yeah, a scimitar. Yeah. I said that though, right? I said scimitar. I played RuneScape. I know what a scimitar is.
No, I think we did not mention the name
I feel like
at all.
I said scimitar.
You were trying to find the word for the pirate one.
Falcon, or falchion.
God damn it, my brain is so internet poison. Robinson said, like, the falchion is also curved sword, and immediately my brain goes to like, have you seen those warriors from the east? They have curved swords. Curved swords. Anybody who's played Skyrim will understand that one.
Oh, okay.
Because like, one of the cultures in Elder Scrolls uses also like falchions, scimitars, and whatever.
Is it the lizard people?
No, it's the red guards.
Oh, okay.
And the guards are all like, because they're all like Vikings, so they have straight swords, and they're like mind blown about the fact that the sword doesn't need to be straight. It's like, Jesus Christ, you need to look across your border sometimes.
Yeah, I was discussing earlier with somebody that I would be able to survive pretty decently if I got isekai. What is isekai?
Transported to an enemy fantasy realm.
Oh, okay.
Usually by way of getting run over from a truck.
Okay. or in a post-apocalyptic setting because of my massive random knowledge. See, I've always thought that I would actually die first in a post-apocalyptic setting because the amount of food that I require to survive is just so high that like I'd either have to just lose a ton of, muscle and become some like anemic person, but then I'd probably also, I don't know, my metabolism is just super high, which is not what you want. You want to be somebody who stores fat easily so that when you find that, grocery store that hasn't been raided yet, you can just eat all the Twinkies and save the fat.
But at the same time, you're like been going on about the pioneer spirit earlier. The thing is, if it's a post-apocalypse, why should the food come from an old supermarket you raid when you could just freaking plant some crops and
I mean, sure, but assuming that like the ground is inhospitable or something, and we're just surviving
yeah,
as
of
long
course,
as we can.
if we have that kind of apocalypse, but it's funny, as well. If you think, for example, people are always like the nuclear apocalypse. They always think of that like Fallout, Mad Max, like everything
Yeah.
is desert.
I don't know about desert, but maybe just enough
but
radioactivity in the soil.
that's what I'm about to say. Have you seen pictures of Chernobyl?
I've seen lots of pictures of Chernobyl.
It's freaking green.
It honestly kind of reminds me of what was that? There was a Korean TV show that just happened where they get like teleported into like a different version of Tokyo. What was it called? It's kind of like their own take on the whole I want to say Hunger Games, but it's not Squid Game. What was that? Dang it, I don't remember what it was called, but it's the there was like all the different face cards are like all these different trials across the city, and but like the time is really funky in this place that they are. And so everything starts like becoming, nature starts taking over Tokyo, and it's a really cool like visual because you see like these buildings that just have like vines and stuff growing from them, and you're like, yeah, I mean, like given enough time, nature will just come back.
Yeah, and there's definitely there's a lot of seems to be quite a bit of plant life in Chernobyl because there's no humans to mess with it, and I guess because of the metabolism of the plant, they might be more resistant to the radiation or something. I don't know. I'm no expert on that.
I don't think radiation affects them the same way, I guess, or maybe they're just they just grow so quickly that they don't.
Well, I'm thinking more also on because they're more static, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so if one branch dies of cancer or whatever, sure, that's one branch, but like the tree has plenty of duplicates of that. Whereas for us, oh, you have heart cancer.
Sucks
well, that's
to
that.
suck, yeah.
Sucks to you.
That's true.
Like we don't have as many replacement organs as a lot of plants.
No,
I guess
you're right. I gotta catch up with Chet.
But yeah, with the whole isekai thing, it's funny that if you think about it, one of the earliest examples of that I can think of is actually a Mark Twain story. Because he wrote that, what's it called? A Yankee in Camelot or something like that? Where like an engineer from the Civil War gets displaced into Arthurian age and he uses his knowledge to influence things.
Or be called a witch.
Now he's
a
smart.
wizard.
He's smart enough to be, the benevolent wizard and not the evil witch getting burned at the stake.
All right, let me catch up with chat. All right, a curved sword much harder to make than a straight and narrow one. I'm a ridiculously like a cockroach. I would be able to survive pretty well, but my God, I'm gonna complain and be an ass about it. And the lack of clean water will hamper you very early too. True. Green like Fallout 3? I've never played Fallout 3.
No, green like actual plants, not green like Cherenkov radiation green.
Oh. Remember that the fall of Rome was a form of post-apocalyptic scenario. So much tech and knowledge was lost. There's a reason why they were called the Dark Ages. I mean, whatever happened in between the ancient Egyptians and the modern Egyptians.
From what I know, the whole Dark Ages thing is something that historians are not terribly fond of. And the only respect that the Dark Ages are dark to modern historians is the sense of we don't have many like good written authentic sources from the time. A lot of stuff about the Middle Ages was actually written by people in the early modern age, being like, "Oh, look how much shit sucked back then. How much better it's now." So it's kind of propaganda in a way.
Well, they did say in the next message, but we didn't get to it yet. The Victorians called the medieval times dark, but there is some merit to it. So I think it was a conditional statement on the fact that the Victorians were calling it dark. Animals
There's
and
definitely,
plants
of
usually
course,
die before getting cancer. Whales, for example, get cancer, but the cancer gets cancer, and then they cancel each other out.
Yes, I heard of that.
What?
That's also something that apparently happens to like very large animals, like whales and elephants. It's like the cancer is so big that within the cancer you get mutation, and then the cancer like fights with the cancer for nutrients, and so they both just die off.
Oh my gosh. They were called the Dark Ages by the people of the Renaissance. They discovered back original copy of ancient texts and considered the people before them as a bunch of dumbs.
Yeah, it's like, how dare these people not know the things that they simply hadn't found?
Yeah. Well, what about the I mean, like, we take the pyramids, for example, right? As the classic example of, like, how did they do that back then? Or, like, jewelry. Like, the Egyptians back then were making, like, crazy, intricate jewelry and stuff. I don't know. There were just a lot of things going on back then that were more high tech, I think, than what came after. So where does the lost technology come into it, though? That's what I don't know. I spoke with somebody and mentioned living without electricity. They responded, "The apocalypse," as if humans had always had electricity. It's only been 3 old people ago when they were using oil lamps and candles.
And it's also,
sometimes we still have to do that when the power goes out.
Yeah, but you have to think like, oh yes, like the pyramids and stuff like, oh, and so much tech was lost. Yes, sure, there were like specific things that were lost, but if you look, for example, at a lot of the cathedrals built in Europe in the Middle Ages, those are also impressive structures. And in fact, there's a bunch of stuff where the researchers are like, oh, we actually need to do experiments to figure out how they actually did this, because we don't understand how they in the Middle Ages did this, because it was just passed down like from master to apprentice. Nobody bothered writing it down.
Yeah, I mean,
there's like a whole castle somewhere here in France where they're building it with medieval technology to figure out how they actually did it.
Right. Well, they're supporting incredible amounts of weight too, which is pretty impressive.
I can't see how.
And I'm definitely not somebody who's fond of the whole myth of, oh, it's always forward. There's clearly setbacks sometimes, but I think the whole science was dead in the Middle Ages thing is overblown. Yeah, sure, they didn't have the scientific method in the modern sense, but that doesn't mean they had no technology, because technology isn't just like theoretical physics and stuff like that. It's like also like practical engineering knowledge and such.
The thing I think of when I think of lack of electricity is just like losing access to all the hard drives with like information on them. Like we don't have a lot of physical
media storage anymore.
Yeah, media storage anymore. And I mean, even if you take like a hard drive as opposed to like a SSD or something like that, you still need electricity to read it, even if it's stored physically on a disk.
Yep.
But
I guess the thing is, we do live in a time where a lot of people will know how to make a basic generator as long as they have like copper wire or something.
Yeah.
A magnet.
Lack of running water would suck. I experienced that for the last 2 days in my apartment.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's...
I just, I understand that, stuff happens, but this company comes in, they're supposed to just, fix a thing with the water. They break something, and then they're just kind of like, sorry, we don't have a part to fix this thing that we broke. We'll have to, buy another one, but we can't do it until...
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell?
And, this doesn't affect me at all. Whatever they fixed, I don't really think changes anything about my life. They said something about they're changing the valves to make it so that they lose less water, so it's more efficient or something.
I accidentally canceled it.
But that just makes me think were the pipes just leaking beforehand? What do you mean save more water? The water that's used is mainly reliant on how much the people are using, and they didn't do anything to make us use less water. I'm not sure what I mean, I'm all for updating the infrastructure. Don't get me wrong, but them just kind of coming in and being like, "Hey, everything will be done by 5 p.m." and then at 8 p.m. coming in and being like, "Actually, they broke it. You won't have water until tomorrow morning," and then it not being done until 4 p.m. the next day. Like,
Yeah, that's bad.
yeah, I was kind of a little bummed out by that, but you know, I really like the idea of kind of like living on the land though, like living out in like a rural area. But it's so unrealistic in terms of like actually making it work if things hit the fan. Like think about like the solar panels that people are like, "Oh, we can survive out in the wilderness with these solar panels." Yeah, what happens when your solar panels get old and stop being
Yes,
as
exactly.
efficient?
You yourself can't replace them really.
What happens when the weather gets so crazy that there's not enough sun every day, or I don't know, maybe there's too much sun is what we're going towards. I don't know. Yeah, the data loss would be crazy. Electricity is integral to getting the water. You're right, yeah. Printing presses are being scrapped. We are setting ourselves up for another dark ages. But yeah, you have no backup. There's no like, I don't know. I'm sure the plumbers that broke it were plumbed out too. I think you mean bummed out, but yeah. I think they were plumb out of luck is what they were. It was just like, you could see it on their faces. And the guy that like knocked on my door was so just like, "Hey, there's no water until tomorrow." And I mean, you could tell that he's like looking at me like, this guy's not French. How much of this is he getting? And like, I don't necessarily build a lot of confidence when somebody's speaking French to me because I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. So I don't look like I'm like listening super close.
You know, I definitely understand that feeling because, oh boy.
You got to spend time thinking about what you're going to say next, or else they finish talking and you're like, "Okay, give me a second."
Yeah. And even then, sometimes it's like, even when it's like, "Oh, can you give me your phone number?" And I'm like, and then I have some like, 98 or whatever, and then it's like, oh no, this is one of the bad French numbers. Where it's like, 420s and 9?
420s and 18, yeah, or something. 80, 18. Class of Vault these wheat. Yes, exactly, captions. Did you get to shower at work, Jordan, eventually? No, I ended up staying home because they like wanted us to be there so that they could do stuff.
So we're leaning into the garrisons then?
I like the garrison strat, yeah.
Protect the weak. Like coming over and running down there. Don't think too hard about it.
We are the weak. How many liters do you waste to get it cold or hot enough? Thankfully my hot water heater's pretty quick.
You know, now that they say that,
it's those tankless ones.
But now that they say that, that might be one of the things where they're like, oh, this will save water because people aren't running the tap for like 2 minutes for the water to get hot and stuff like that.
I don't know. I will say the water does flow a bit more easily, if that can be a thing.
So I don't think we can accept the non-aggression pact. It's like
I mean,
because
if we break it, then she'll hate us forever.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, building strategy. Sorry, we're gonna be coming over there and making friends. Plus 20 industry, yes, please.
One can never truly listen if thinking about the next thing they're gonna say. I mean, I get that for sure, but the French people aren't patient enough for me to actually listen to them.
For like 3 minutes trying to figure out the right words. Yeah.
Other people are patient enough. The French people I've interacted with aren't. And maybe it's just the people that I meet here in Paris, but it's pretty tough.
It might be more of a big city thing than it's a French thing, I guess.
Yeah. Unless you're playing Anno in real life, surviving out in the wild with modern technology can only last for so much. People tend not to think about maintenance and repairing things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just so many things that if an apocalypse, quote unquote, happened, like the people that make tape, Stop making tape. What are you gonna do without tape, huh? How are you gonna get things to stick together?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can make MacGyver this with just some tape and a pen. Wait, neither of those are made anymore. Crap.
Yeah, well, think about like you use tape to like connect two things together. You could use rope, but then what if you need to like seal something and not have it leak? And that's why you're putting the tape over it. Like, well, you can't do that with rope. So how do you get something that replaces tape? What replaces tape? Sap? Like from a tree, you could use sap, but then how do you keep it? Tar? I mean, where are you gonna find tar? You're just gonna go into the forest
wherever
dig
the
up
people
some
who
tar?
used wherever the people who used it to seal their ships found it. I don't know, but clearly
the tar pits.
But clearly there were pre-electricity ways to make it because medieval ships and stuff used it. So
I don't feel like there's that many tar pits around. So they must.
Yeah, probably
have been
because
using
we don't
something.
need them anymore.
How do you make a tar pit? Chat. How do you do tar? Solar flare in the next year might ruin data storage. Some tech was lost for 2,000 years. We have methods to predict them, so we actually prepared for that. Kirk Kazat made a video on it. Hopefully. Hopefully, yeah. Oof.
Yeah,
Who knew Paris was all about that speaking French? 80% speedrun grind. Is civilization on the brink of collapse? I think it's the video. Reject civilization, return to humankind. Exactly, Arcalis. The port city of Marseille got some similar sarcastic humor as in my port city Gothenburg. I don't get it, Wolf. String, glue, pine resin, and leaves. I mean, string's not too hard to make if you have some fibrous stuff. Glue, I mean, like, again, glue is manufactured. Like, there are gum trees or whatever. I don't know how you make glue, actually, to be honest.
I think before we had the modern super complex chemical glues, it was made from like bone and cartilage.
Right, by boiling it to heck or something.
Particular from like horses, I think.
Oh, horsehoof glue? Right, that makes sense. I lived in a big city in Florida. People were not patient there either. I lived in Orlando in Florida, and
yeah, see,
I have thoughts about Florida.
see, Florida is too hot and uncomfortable for you to be in a hurry.
We Vikings used wood tar. But what is wood tar made out of? Mostly it was pine
presumably
pitch.
wood.
So it's just sap. How do you turn sap into tar? You mix it with like charcoal. That's how it's black? Is it mixed with charcoal? I feel like we need a copy of that Guide to Invent Everything book in case of the apocalypse. By burning birch wood. I want to ask something, but I think I know the answer. Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask. You're almost done. You already know. You can also make tar from birch tree bark. Oh, from the bark of a birch tree. You know, we had birch trees in Oregon, and the bark would just peel off like parchment paper. Not like parchment paper. I'm talking like a scroll, you know. We built a pyramid of wood that makes coal and tar too. Xanthan gum. What's xanthan though? That sounds like something that's in like my food. Monsoon. We can handle this. We all played Minecraft, right?
You just punch a tree until it breaks apart?
By burning it, I don't really know all the steps. Also, some used egg yolk to seal envelopes. Interesting. Oh, we gotta rename our religion. Axel wants to name it Morgan Industries.
Ah, resources exist to be consumed. Not by this generation, then by the next.
I think we didn't actually name it.
I think somebody wanted to rename it last time and we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't get around to it.
I can't actually see the letters because it reflects.
Don't worry, I'll keep chat entertained over here. Sup, birches? We're going shopping. That isn't food, Jordan. Yeah, like used in cuisine recently. Xanthan gum. But I just don't know what a xanthan is. Like, xanthan is a word that doesn't mean anything to me. What is xanthan? Is xanthan like a type of tree? The xanthan tree? Ash and water. Ash and water to make the glue. Oh, we're talking about the tar. How to make tar. Ash and water doesn't sound like it makes tar, though. I think you need the sap with the ash and the water, maybe.
Well, I guess depending on which wood you use, there's like, remains of the sap in the ash.
Right.
Like, a resin kind of
You're just like cooking it until
and
it...
then you add the water and you boil
Makes
it, I guess,
sense.
to bond it.
Makes sense. We gotta also rename one of our cities to Heckenback.
Okay.
I mean,
which
we
one?
stole Corral from them, so might as well rename it, just so our people know that, like, it's different now. Because we don't want to think that they still think it's, like, old Corral. To Heck and back. Let's go. It fits.
Well, that was
Tar
quick.
is obtained from wood that is heated in a low oxygen environment. Oh, so it doesn't burn. You technically just... I guess you're not oxidizing it. What the hell are you doing it to it? Like, scientifically, then. While tar can be extracted from the most types of wood, the most common source in Scandinavia is pine, with birch bark used occasionally for special purposes. Person, 1994. It's actually used in cuisine recently. It's great for bringing sauces together. Xanthan gum is artificial in origin, not naturally found in nature. Guar gum can be. Guar sounds like a plant. Interesting. Interesting. It's a process. I'm gonna try burning some wood in a low oxygen environment. Anyways, suffice to say that I think some of the processes that we just are like, oh yeah, let me just, make a, like take for example, one of the most popular things I've seen for like these self-sustaining village type situations is a methane bag. So you have like a bag where you put all your poo in, and then methane collects at the top of it, and you pipe that out and you use it to burn to cook your food or heat stuff or whatever.
Yep.
But people don't think, okay,
Where do you get the bag from?
where do you get the bag from? Okay, is this a tarp type of material? Is this some sort of like rubberized thing? Like, what is that whole thing made out of? And then how are you sealing it? I've seen like black duct tape being used because you want it to be black so that like the heat, makes it. But then the piping, like what are you using for piping? Like, did you get pipes from your local Home Depot because that's where the PVC lives?
Just had to hold back a horrible joke about that.
It sounds absolutely disgusting. But if you needed to like,
If you want,
find a way to put your poo to use,
and also if you want absolutely disgusting, look into the solution the Apollo astronauts had to use.
the solution.
Let's just say it was so bad
Pooing in
that
space sounds not
it
fun.
still existed as an emergency solution on the space shuttle. Except that solution was deemed so bad by the astronauts that they literally scrubbed the missions when the normal toilet didn't work.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I just think the no gravity thing would make it really tough.
They had to put it in a sealed bag, add like a solution that involves bacteria that would help break it down, seal the bag, and then knead it by hand to make sure that it
That's awesome.
it's like, yes, I
That's
can see why the
awesome.
astronauts were like, no, we've had enough of this shit. Quite literally.
Yeah. We can survive if we start verbal history sharing as the natives still do somewhere. Some of the natives still do it. Oh gosh, these poor civilians. I mean, they're not civilians at this point, but they feel like it.
Oh, come on.
If I'm relied upon to pass down knowledge through oral tradition, that's where civilization ends. Say, Marcellus. I can't remember.
Absolutely.
what I had
I
for
can't remember,
breakfast.
Jan.
You want me to remember the formula for tar?
It's like
oh.
we didn't win this battle yet because of 2 hit points.
Oh, come on. They're hanging on to my dear life.
I guess
Oh.
the thing is, these guys are too far away to make it in time.
Ditch piping can be solved by digging down gravel. Downgrade? Like digging downwards? I'm talking about piping a gas.
And you know, but
How do you pipe a
as far as
gas
you know, ditch
without-
piping is concerned, even to this day, sewers always go downhill because you don't want to have to use pumps to get rid of your sewage.
Yeah.
Because then if the pumps break down,
It just starts coming up through the pipes.
yes,
I've heard about that
so
actually in Paris.
they always are supposed to go down. It's a gentle slope,
right.
but it's a slope.
And there's a reason why human feces are not used in industry. It's a surefire way to spread disease.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Don't have to worry about living in a post-apocalyptic world if you die in the apocalypse. There you go. Don't even have to worry about it. Civilization claims never compares to calendar use. I don't get it. I don't get it, Wolf. I can't be the only one that, like, in high school or whatever, I would talk about like, I don't know, like what weapon I'd use in the apocalypse, or like if you could bring 3 people with you to be on your team in the apocalypse, like who would you choose?
No, I'm pretty sure that.
All the theoreticals.
Maybe not like specifically that kind of phrasing, but like, yeah, I think like this kind of theorizing was probably, you know,
Pretty
not
common.
the rarest thing.
What was a direct translation from Swedish? All right, I don't understand the like gist, the like spirit of like what the question is, or statement, I guess. But you're good.
I mean, he might be referring to this issue here, that a lot of times when people play, the era does not actually match. Actually, you know, I've been meaning to actually. Now it's like 2 more. We can get that out next turn. If I just check where to build something.
Well, we don't even know what place we're in yet, do we? Or do we know what place we're in? We just know what era we're in.
We know what era we're in. But yeah, I've been meaning to advance to the medieval, for like 3 turns, and then I kept forgetting, and now it's like, oh, you know, if we just crank out another district here, like real quick, like another 13 industry, and then, you know, that's
only
fine.
7 people.
I mean, I'm gonna wait, and then next turn we can probably buy it with money instead of 7 people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And then we can advance.
Popular one was the deserted island theoretical situation thing. Like, what would you contribute if you were stranded on a deserted island? Or, like, what would you take with you on a deserted island?
Should I go real dark here right now? Obviously, I would be contributing food because, you know, I would be the first to die, and then...
That's why I was like, what are you contributing? Like, what are you bringing to the desert island? Like, not as in, like, what's your survival gear, but, like, what do you bring to the table? Like,
yeah, about
what skills do you have?
You know, about 80 kilos of resources.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like me and my friends were like, okay, what weapon would you use in the apocalypse? We're talking like melee weapons, or it'd be like, okay, what weapon would you bring? Sci-fi weapon, like, oh, I'd bring a lightsaber, like, or I'd bring, I don't know, like a Warhammer chainsaw sword or something, or I don't know, you know, like.
So that's what, a little over 100. Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 more turn so we get 1 more era star, because obviously
we can definitely get that. A shovel?
A mere shovel?
A
mere shovel or a trusty entrenching tool?
A crowbar, useful, durable, and efficient. What's up, Curly Frey?
As
crowbar
you know,
is a good one.
As proven by Gordon Freeman.
I think a lot of people said like crossbow because it's like long range but quiet. Because I think a lot of the issue with the zombies is that they can hear you, so then they start swarming. Assuming there's also
I mean,
which zombie
yeah, I was about
version
to say,
are you talking
the whole
about?
thing is with the zombies is like, yes, but what type of zombie are we talking about here? Because obviously, you know, for example, in most zombie media, it's the, oh, you need to cut off the head to stop them. And then you get Resident Evil 4. Aha, I've cut off the head of the zombie. Well, holy, what is coming out of its next stump now? Because they have these parasites in them, so if you cut off the head, there's this giant centipede thing that comes out, and it's like more dangerous than before.
Oh, so how do you kill them? You burn the body.
You then have to also kill the centipede thing.
Okay. You can't just chop them through in the middle.
I guess if you burn them, that would be very effective. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, what type of zombie are we talking about? Because there's also the type of zombie where it's like, oh no, brain damage does nothing because, you know, the brain is not relevant for them.
No, end of civilization claims. Oh, you're talking about like Doomsday. You're talking about Doomsday claims.
Ah.
Haven't worked out.
Oh yeah, the whole the world's gonna end in 2012 because the Mayan calendar ends there. And
that was 2000. The year 2000 was.
You know, I was thinking about the whole the Mayan calendar ends in 2012.
That was
so the world's gonna end.
That was my graduating year from high school. So
and it's like
we were the year the world.
And it's like no, that's just when one of their big calendar units ends. It's like they literally have another era after that. So. We have these 4 dudes here who are really good at raiding.
I like this.
So should we?
I think we should.
Let's first start some trouble.
I think that they're gonna 100% give in to our demands.
Impossible! The proposal is worse than bad.
Impossible! Santa says no! They withdrew their demands.
Weak.
I want a polearm if the goal is to not get bitten. Keep them at a distance. Actually, yes, the polearm is the highest rated zombie weapon in like all of the things that I've ever read about it or heard people talk about.
And you know, this is a very we've only seen in Humankind, you know, inventing the pointy stick is very important.
Yeah, and pointy stick with a hook.
Or an axe.
Or an axe. Or a metal pointy on the end of your stick. Flamethrower. I feel like you'd run out of gas too quickly with the flamethrower in a zombie apocalypse. Because, like, the advantage of having just a melee weapon is it doesn't need ammo. You know?
Wait, why is there?
I like the old school slow moving zombies.
Oh, actually, there's Nazca lines here because they actually handed this over to us. The territory of France.
We found France. Welcome back, Games for You. Power was out for an hour. Oh gosh.
So sadly, since these are all horsemen, we can't just attack them. We do need some.
Yeah, it sounds crazy to us that people thought that in the year 2000 that the computers were just gonna stop working.
No, see. The Y2K thing wasn't completely unfounded. It's just that a lot of engineers put in a lot of hard work to make sure that the problem was solved before then.
So what was the issue though? That the
if I recall correctly, it was basically like an overflow kind of thing where they, you know, all of the dates were like based on the assumption of, oh, we're using this system for so long, so we have this much space, and it starts counting from this date. And then, you know, people kept using the same kind of system for ages, and then eventually they went,
that's gonna be a problem eventually.
Our timer is kind of running out.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Obviously, it wouldn't have cost, like, probably not as much as people were panicking about, but you would have had problems of, like, you know, why does my Excel spreadsheet suddenly say that this bill was filed in 1901?
Right.
I guess it would have been most dangerous for, like, you know, actual important data, like medical data and stuff like that.
Right. You are now negative 101 years old. my calendar scribes thought it was enough writing for a while. Parting instead. When people working behind the scenes are so effective that it appears like nothing happened. I mean, that's super cool. I don't understand like what they had to do, but I guess that's why I'm not a computer coder. Full arm, remember the Robin Hood fight with Little John? He was nasty whacking Robin's fingers. I guess the fingers is the vulnerable using the pole arm too. Well, I mean, ideally you're keeping them at a distance so that they can't get to your fingers. But I don't know. You know, I'm not a professional in medieval combat, but
No, I think in general, I'm not an expert either, but
I don't
from what
remember.
little I know, it's probably indeed a case where the fingers are vulnerable because with a lot of weapons, you know, there's no protection because you need to be able to shift your grip, especially with like the pole arms.
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And obviously, if your fingers are hurt, you can't grip your weapon well anymore. So it's vulnerable and important.
Now you have to worry about rogue AI.
Paperclip makers.
Paperclip makers?
It's a thought experiment in AI theory. But you have this, sorry,
Good.
this really powerful AI, and you're just small time factory owner or something. Your job is it to make paperclip making more efficient, so I can make more money with this paperclip factory. There's no restrictions on the AI. Starts buying up other companies and shit. Grows and grows, and then it connects itself to the internet somehow, and eventually it takes over the world. And there's no restrictions on the AI. It still maximizes the number of paperclips. There's nothing in there but keeping you alive. So it's just like, all these humans. This is a very inefficient way to make paperclips. All of this taking 20 years to grow up, needing food every day, all of that. It would be more efficient if I just removed that. And then eventually takes over the whole globe.
All shall be paperclip.
All shall be paperclips, and then takes over the solar system. And then there's, you know, those idle games like Cookie Clicker?
Mm-hmm.
There's one called Universal Paperclips that is specifically about this horror of the rogue AI turns everything into paperclips.
Their sticks were broken to the size of a dagger when they were whacking their fingers. Ah. How many can you parry with one stick? I think you just whack them at a distance as they came at you. Like, obviously the zombie horde idea is kind of like that there's a bunch of them all coming at you from all directions. But if you were like being smart about it, you would isolate like where they can come at you from so that you can take them on, preferably one at a time. You know.
And of course, ideally you would also minimize the times you are in areas where they can't even reach you.
Yeah, but like think about what was that game where you have to like create defenses for the zombies to like walk through. It's kind of like almost a tower defense survival game. Where you go around that city that's like...
you know that meme from like one of the Batman Beyond villains being like, "You have any idea how little that narrows it down?"
There's a very specific game I'm thinking of.
Yes, but that zombie game where you have to create defenses. That's like 80% of zombie games.
You go into the city and it's like abandoned and you like open up all these boxes and crates and stuff. You like whack stuff with like
well, first question: are we talking like first person, third person,
it's
top
like a
down?
First person zombie game like post-apocalyptic, and because it's not Project Zomboid.
No, because that's top down.
Yeah.
Dying Light.
Maybe
the one with the parkour elements.
No. But there's like kind of like that Valheim Minecrafty building mechanics where you like it's a block that you like edit while you're like building your house. Anyways, you create these like three-dimensional defenses that essentially you make the zombies walk through, because if the zombies don't have a way to get to you, they'll just start bashing your building itself and just destroy your house. But if you give them a path, 7 days to die, that's what it is. Yeah.
And
and so you just create like a funnel, and yeah, and then I don't know. I've never played it myself, but that's essentially the idea. And so I can imagine.
So you're exploiting the bad zombie pathfinding AI?
No, you just give them a path.
I mean, yeah, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, you know, they just pass through the traps because they do. But obviously here it's intentionally, and it's literally intentionally bad pathfinding AI so that you can have the fun of that.
Yeah.
But it does also fit the theme of the mindless zombie.
Which is hilarious because I'm playing that right now while watching the stream. Nice. What are the chances? How you doing, Rex? I always exploit the bad AI. I mean, sometimes the bad AI can be for the fun AI, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Talking to our AI
no,
people,
exactly.
they said
kind of
it's got to be fun. I can make
exactly.
this AI destroy you.
That's one of the things. Whenever we get complaints about, oh, the AI is not good enough, it's like, what do you mean with good AI? Because as I said in this example with the zombies, sure they could code they could code the zombie AI to recognize, oh, there's traps here, we shouldn't walk through here, but that wouldn't be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want the zombies to walk into the traps for the players to have that fun feeling of, oh yes, you know, I have this impenetrable defense against the zombies.
You didn't like it. You know, honestly, I don't think it's for everybody. I mean, the same way that not everybody likes Minecraft or any game, honestly. You know, there's games that have very specific vibes. You know, and if you're not, I mean, even the people are put off by the littlest things, I think. You know, the graphics are grainy. Oh, you know, I don't know. There's tons of things. I'm trying to think of things that are non-specific to our games. I'm not like.
Sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't like this art style. Oh, I don't like the tone of this game.
Good,
like for example, with
the
zombie,
voice actors.
With zombie games, if we stick to that example, you know, you can have a zombie game that very
DayZ.
serious and tries to be like, you know, very real and a horror experience.
Or like Left 4 Dead or something.
And then on the other hand, you can have zombie games that are like having fun with the whole zombie premise and are more humorous.
Yeah.
And so that's none like good or bad game. It's just like some people like the one and some like the other.
Roman legions use pilas as a missile weapon for 2 shots before making a sword wall, like the Vikings. 800 to 1,000 years later. A shield wall. That was like a sword wall. Sounds interesting.
No, but the Romans.
A pilus.
The Romans did use the gladius was like a short sword, and they went like, you know, the big rectangular shield. They were like forming a shield wall, and then they were stabbing out from behind it. And the pilum was this throwing javelin, but I don't know how true that is. But I read once that it was like the back half of the half was wood and the front half was metal.
Oh.
And the tip was hard.
Kind of like a javelin.
But the metal part was not super hard, so it was like relatively easy to bend, so that if it punctured like through the shield, it would bend from the impact. And so you couldn't just pull it on again. And so then, you know,
intentionally
and then you exactly and then your choice is like, shit, I, you know, have to throw this away.
So the enemies couldn't throw them back. I feel like I may have heard about this in like Deadliest Warrior. Did you ever watch Deadliest Warrior?
No.
Man, I've
heard of it, but
Forged in Fire, Deadliest Warrior. These were super fun TV shows that were like when I was in college, because, you know, they would talk about like, oh, we're gonna put against each other a ninja and a pirate or something and pit them against each other. And it wasn't just you know, some type of like stat, you know, they created arbitrary stats. I think they did kind of do a little bit of arbitrary just who won type of thing. But at the end of the episode, after they talked about all the different like, oh, the arsenal of weapons and the skills that they would have had and how that would affect a fight between the two, they would like do an actual like video that they did of somebody in the ninja suit and somebody in like a pirate costume like acting out a fight, and they would talk about like each pivotal moment in the fight and why that person took the advantage and why the other person didn't or whatever. And it was super fun. I really liked the show. Historically speaking, great generals exploited the bad AI of the enemy's mistakes.
Yes, that it definitely feels about right. Yeah, I think now we got all the era stars we're gonna get. So let's see. I think we said we want to try and get the Mongols for that sweet 100% ransacking.
I like
I'm
that
not
idea.
super fond of the order here because obviously we don't have much space to expand. But this is gonna be nice pairing with the. I think it does affect the Goths trait,
Minus
and then
25% on vassalized costs.
and that as well. You know, if we have a distant enemy, maybe we can deal with that. And the Mongol horde, of course, yes, would be quite nice as well. And the other option, as we said, the Norsemen for the Naust and some quick naval movement speed.
I just think.
But I think the Mongols. We
having
haven't played the Mongols often on stream, so we should try that.
Let's go. New job opportunity on Amplitude. Is that supposed to be amplitude? Fake AI players. They randomly enter online games where AI is involved as an opponent.
Secretly, of course.
Secretly, of course. Honestly, I think that'd be super fun. Some of the like games that have been most popular recently are ones where it's like a imbalanced gameplay where it's like you play as the 1 versus the 3, but you're stronger.
I think what you're looking for is asymmetrical gameplay.
I guess it's asymmetrical, but it's like, you know, when you're playing Mario Party.
Yes.
And and it turns into a 1v3, but you're like the big bad boss.
I think everybody who has played a multiplayer game that's a free fall and doesn't have fixed team has experienced the 1v3 dynamically, so to speak.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting to.
Like we immediately got a military star for how many dudes we had already murdered.
But it would be interesting if you could like sign up to be a bad guy. You know, have a matchmaking system where you're the bad guy. I don't know how that would work in a 4X game because it's like obviously there is no matchmaking. You can't just search for a multiplayer match.
Well,
are there any?
Funnily enough, one of the DLCs for Stellaris tried something like that.
Where they tried to have like a matchmaking queue?
Well, no, not the matchmaking queue, but being the bad guy.
Oh.
Like one of the DLCs literally had the option to pick one of the, you know, as you unlock stuff, you get like so-called ascension perks. That can be stuff like, oh, we learn to upload our minds into robots, or oh, we learn to genetically modify our bodies like the concretes, stuff like that. And one of them was like becoming the menace, and then you would get like special ship types, and you could. The end game of that was literally harvesting stars to rip a hole in reality to bring in another entity that destroys the galaxy. So you would literally become the end game.
The bad guy. That's interesting.
I mean, I guess in that sense, since you were, you know, consuming planets and suns, you became the bad guy in the Lord Dominator sense.
I see.
I don't know if you get that reference.
I don't get the Lord Dominator reference, but I get the idea.
Wonder over yonder. She was one of the villains, and she was like destroying all the planets and sucking the magma out of it to power her ship. And they thought, of course, that was very traditional super villain, like the big buff guy with the deep booming voice, and then
Thanos,
the Thanos type guy. And then no, she was actually like this slender girl, and then was just a voice modulator.
Okay.
And she has like, you know, a whole musical number about it.
Feel free to ask your question, Wolf. We'll answer it if we can.
I guess, you know, just grab everything.
How many points do we have?
Enough.
30. There's gonna be a lot of reparation. It's only 1,600 gold though. That's cheap.
It's only 1,600 gold.
I guess it is only the
given that they have like 2 areas.
Classical era. They're gonna be in debt for a while.
If they can even get a city anywhere.
Way down there.
Oh. I guess they still do have a unit somewhere because they're trespassing, so hey, pay us even more money. Ah, yes, there it is. Hey guys. So, about you hanging out here?
I'd like to play on a world map as Italy. Will less AI swamp me in Europe in this new patch? Italy map area start.
I guess they'll probably actually swarm you even more because we've improved the way they expand early, and they're a bit less shy about grabbing territory.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before the AI were a little bit kind of slow to grab new territories in a lot of cases. But now they're just like, we'll just settle everywhere. Not everywhere, but obviously more frequently. Is this something that people are into, though, in most cases? That they wanted the AI to be more aggressive?
I've definitely repeatedly seen the feedback that the AI doesn't expand well in the early game. And
Okay.
so it falls off hard in the mid game because it didn't grab enough land early.
I see.
Yes, I mean, you can see it here.
Well, they were getting pushed by the
I guess
other AI.
actually, we looked away from Sergio for a moment and
they've conquered the new world, I guess.
Seems so. Is this acceptable?
I mean, Sergio was being nice to us, but I think we need somebody to kill.
Well, we do have QA over here.
True. Lauren could be next on our list of people.
She's not in chat to stop us. Oh, right. Oh, come on. Let me get the copper.
Love that copper. Can we assimilate the other minor faction yet?
We have client stated them instead of assimilating them for the time being.
Oh, well, we are at 5 out of 3.
Yes, exactly, because we're a bit above our city cap.
Let's choose violence again. Video games is where you get to be violent. Okay. As a very peaceful individual, I take every opportunity I can to sacrifice people or fight them in video games.
Yeah, it's funny how, you know, a lot of times, I mean, not so much these days, but when I was young, you know, you probably also experienced it. All of the media being like, oh, video games cause violence. And then all of the scientific studies are like, well, actually, we discovered that after they played a violent game, they had an outlet for their aggression, so they were maybe more calm afterwards.
Yeah, I also saw some research that suggested that it's not about video games making you violent. It's about
if you already have a violent
more aggressive
tendency.
People seeking out the violent games. Yeah. Can you refresh the captions page for me?
No, I can't.
If you just just whack the refresh button and then hit start captioning again, and then we're good to go.
Where is it?
Little handy hand.
No, I don't think we need either of those. Oh, actually,
Sergio has noped out of the mainland and has been laying low, waiting to reenact the Bronze Age collapse as the Sea Peoples. If I got 4 to 5 AI in Europe at start, I'm either going to kill them or being swamped. Still early end of exciting gameplay. I think it will be more exciting having to, you know, actually have some early game fights as opposed to just getting to a point where you can just roll them.
And part of it was also that for a lot of players was super easy to roll them early because they didn't grab enough stuff.
Yeah. Pacifist outside the house, murderer behind the mouse.
That's a good one.
I like it. That's acceptable to me. I usually have to get maps with 1 continent per AI to skip that. No, I'm definitely a fan of the changes in this patch. Feels right.
Why is it even? Oh, I guess because there technically is a river here, we're just not exploiting it.
Yeah, we could eventually.
Let's do some stability.
What's up, boy in France? Our map gen is always as chaotic as we can make it. I mean, as you can see from the current continent that we're living on, it's pretty messy. But I like it.
You know what I just realized? We were talking about it earlier, but you do have curved swords.
They do have curved swords, you're right. The great swordsman. What's the difference between a regular swordsman and a great swordsman? Bigger sword?
Yeah. Like it's literally a great sword in the sense of large.
Oh, okay. They're not just better. I have not played the beta. Any naval stuff gone into this, or is that a later update?
No, that's a later update.
Yeah, the naval rework will be later.
we have been bothering people about when we can start talking about that, but we're still, sorting through what we can say when, because obviously we also need to plan proper rhythm to talking about this so we don't immediately run out of steam.
Yeah, of course.
Because info dumping, and then people are like, "Oh, this is way too long. Why would I bother reading that?" And then
And then they're like, you never update anything.
Yeah, exactly. 3 weeks later, why have you told us anything about the naval update?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And to be fair, yeah, when it's like a giant page of text, a lot of times when I'm like, "Oh, this looks interesting," and then I open it and think, "Oh, there's a giant page of text. Put in read later," and then I never get around to it.
Yeah.
I am definitely guilty of the YouTube attention span sometimes. I have like 30 videos that are over 2 hours in my one list.
I actually got an idea about early game to make it historic. Only account and diplomacy for the map side, and early game is on another scale to a point. Interesting idea, Wolf. You have to feed data like TikTok lately, sadly. I mean, I don't think it's that people don't have the attention span for it.
No, in this case, yeah, exactly. It's not attention. It's more
about they don't have the memory to be like, oh yeah, like they did just do.
Yeah,
some
but
update.
also no. I mean, when I say people aren't reading, I don't mean that in the people are. No matter with all the
bunch of goldfish.
Bunch of goldfish, no attention. No, it's more like, oh, I have so much stuff to do. I do not have time to read this now. I'll read it later, and then you never find or make the time to read it because you have so much to do.
The tyranny of the
as I say,
urgent.
exactly. Same for me. As I just said, I have like 30 videos in my YouTube watch later, and a lot of them are like an hour long because it's like, oh yes, this topic really interests me, but this is stuff where, oh, maybe when I'm painting I can listen to it on the side, but I can't take an hour to just sit and watch because I have so much other stuff to do.
Yeah, definitely. Sweden got all this mini kings fighting for the supremacy, or England the same. Mini kings? Little kings?
I mean, England had the heptarchy.
Don't know what that is.
Hept, as in heptagon.
Like 7 sides.
Yes.
Okay.
The heptarchy, 7 kings. There were like 7 different kingdoms that were fighting for like control of the British Isles, minus Scotland because the Scots were doing their own thing at the time, I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough. Sounds like Scotland.
And I don't know if the Welsh were part of the heptarchy or not.
You have to win against the early game rulers before you be a full.
So I think what they're saying is like, when you're early game, there's like several other players with the same culture as you, and you have to unify them before you deal on the same level as like, England and France, Sweden, or whatever.
See.
It's like, you
have to win
you have Mercia and Northumbria and stuff, and you need to unify them first.
I like it.
You guys, I guess, just hang out here and everything happens.
Is that the new emblem for the units that are yours? Instead of having their color just change on the units and have it just be now they're red units, they have. If you zoom in next to the units, there's like a little circle.
Oh, here, yes. And as you can see, they provide everything to us basically.
Yeah.
And we could, I guess, some of them might be armies we can rent. Oh no, it seems they're all defender armies. Yep. These are the aggressive people who might have armies we can, in theory, rent, but we don't have the we didn't get the Mercs. We didn't get the no, we would have, but I got the science agreement instead of the Mercs agreement because I need Mercs agreement.
Yeah, we have plenty of armies ourselves.
12% surplus, so we clearly don't need that. Is there anything good to build? Well, I guess with 12% surplus, the answer is districts.
Lots of industry. How's our faith going?
Decently, but not really spreading over here.
Morgan Industries must spread its ideology.
Yes, which is a very specific ideology. I know, actually, yeah, this is in English times.
Is this the Cyclopean fortress that we're surrounding?
Yes.
Why is it so good? Because industry from...
It gets the bonuses from the different infrastructures. Because it does count as a mega
You
quarter.
now have a city of 10 territories. That
Cool.
tiny
Speaking of
first
how our
settlement was nothing but a
religion is doing,
distant
we just
memory.
invented theology. So
Nice.
I guess now we actually have invented even asking that question in the first place. So should we get like a faith wonder to try spreading it a bit more?
Good question.
20 faith flat and get some food for it, or 20 faith and even more faith?
We do have a lot of research technologies. Science per adjacent research quarter.
I guess we can find some area that's not like super great to exploit, like where he has like one industry or one food. And then, yes, this one actually has science on it, so we could like surround it here with science quarters.
All those little caravans out on that road in between cities, they'll just stop by. Stop by the cathedral.
I mean, given what I've seen of the roads in the past, I guess drive through the cathedral. Which, fair enough, usually you're not like zooming in this close when you're looking at the map. You're more like at this level, and then it's much harder to notice. I guess these guys are also sent over in this direction. We need to prepare to raid over here. But I did want to grab this because it has some resources. But we just spent... Was it? When was it? We're 5 points short.
Not today.
Let's prepare the raiding parties.
Excellent. How are they standing on that food but haven't claimed it?
It's a just for the Mongol hordes thing.
Oh right.
I didn't notice the food icon. I thought it was like a leftover normal curiosity. Speaking of the Mongol hordes, though, let's grab one and prepare to send it off.
So the Mongol hordes, they have to collect food to grow?
Yes, and they do that by these curiosities or ransacking.
Okay, and then you just get more of them.
At least I think ransacking also works.
Okay.
Especially a unit that gathers food in order to multiply. Yeah, I don't remember if they get it from ransacking or not, but they'll definitely get it from the curiosity down here.
So we only see one curiosity. Are there that many curiosities that spawn?
Well, they'll mostly be spawning in uncontrolled territory, I guess.
Because they're meant to be like going out and exploring. Potato McWhiskey's dead. Officially.
He's been dead for a couple of turns, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it just did the X, the red X of death.
No, I think I took a very long time on the last one. I had killed him a while ago and had already gotten the pop-up for, this empire has been eliminated. Just hadn't X'd him out yet. So, here. Let's just slap that somewhere in the middle here.
Seems like a good spot. Candre.
And then, yes, this, where do we put it? Somewhere where we don't have much else.
You're looking to put Notre Dame?
I mean,
was it not the other place that we were talking about?
This is also one where there's not a lot of going on. Like, these are like literally dead tiles. They're right.
Right.
So I'm definitely tempted by doing it like. Well, I guess we wouldn't get adjacency over here because it's two different cities. But it would look better over here. And then maybe we can.
I mean, you only really miss out on one tile.
Yes, and we could potentially shift around like what's attached where eventually. But we will, I guess, need to build some industry quarters around here to be able to build the science quarters next to it.
Is the music loud enough, chat? By the way, I didn't even ask that before. Neither of us are wearing the headphones, but we can hear.
These are the renowned Celts. Whether
Okay,
or
you
not their
guys can
soldiers
just-
are naked, they are armed and dangerous.
Who did we just meet? That he's talking about naked soldiers?
Greetings, Sovereign. I ask
Ah, the
only
Celts.
that you always be courageous
I
and
got some
sincere.
Gisati.
Apparently, I got some Gisati, yes.
Suboptimal
But, you
play
know-
comes with aesthetics.
Clearly,
Okay, good.
clearly, you know, we don't have to worry about me declaring war on us. Loyal and benevolent. Turtle.
There you are.
Funny thing is, if we had done this before, earlier, we could have completely locked them in. Because this is an impassable area. Because it's the edge of the map zone.
Mm.
So he would have been completely in here, unable to escape.
Good old Celtic carriage. Love being naked. Yeah, I just always knew from a young age that I really enjoyed being naked. One of my favorite pastimes, really. In fact, every Tuesday is Naked Tuesdays for me. Maybe the early Mini King game can be tested in the scenario branch you've been sharing with us, so if it's popular and it works as a starter for your nation, it might be easier to implement into the full game.
I think that
I don't think the mechanics actually exist in the game to do that.
That kind of thing, I don't think we can do, like with the scenarios and.
I mean,
and
you could
in
create a
Humankind.
custom
It would be a lot of work. for that.
scenario, but then those mini kings would actually have to just be other nations, and then it wouldn't actually work.
A
I mean, you
flag
know, I think it's actually fine for now.
a
We're gonna say,
totally
I'm
the
not
Celts is
sure
fine
what the
because we're gonna
proper
go,
adjective
you know,
is, but it
visit
appears
our
that
green
you have
neighbors.
been armed.
Give them a little visit. Just put
This city has such a weird
towels
shape.
down on Tuesday. Towels? Put the towels down where? On the seat?
But you know, I think I will actually go ahead and be like, okay, this one needs to. No, wait. What? Oh, damn it! For the Mongols. We can't attach it now. I should have attached this before we became the Mongols.
Ah, dang it.
Because this is, you know, one of the really good wonders, actually.
Oh, I was trying to get that for a long time, actually.
Well, I guess if we can't attach outposts, we're gonna go burning outposts.
This song makes me want to go to Mongolia. Doesn't it kind of make you want to go to Mongolia?
And when I'm in the Mongol mood, I put on the Who on
Oh.
YouTube. You know, because not the Who WHO,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Who HU.
I got you.
Because, you know,
I learned about the Who
The
from you.
what do they call it? Hunu rock. I mean, it's fucking amazing. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Notre Dame.
What about
An
instrument that
impressive
is?
achievement built at a time
It's
when
the
scientific inquiry
Mongolian
was
violin,
marched
didn't you know?
hand in hand.
Mongols? The great sea battlers? Maybe before and after combat as on land?
I think that's supposed to be move.
Oh. I mean, they're standing in a boat. They're not swimming. It's okay. It makes sense. So are we to assume that the food curiosities that they're finding off in unclaimed lands is they're pillaging people's food? Is that what's
I guess
happening?
in that case, it's maybe actually like wild animals or stuff like that that they
Or they're
are
actually, like-
hurting. But obviously, when
Sorry
it's
for me
when
being-
you get the food from the pillaging, then
worries.
it's like a lot less kind.
Yeah. I mean, the people in the city have sheep and lambs and stuff, you know?
Yeah, but it's still, you know, you're still
Taking
stealing
theirs,
the
yeah.
people's livelihood.
It's not good, it's just not murder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying you're not directly murdering them. They might just starve after you.
Yeah.
leave.
Mongols were good sailors. They invaded China by the south shores with rented Korean boats. They had
I-
rentals back then. I didn't realize
And
that.
also, you know, they did try to invade Japan.
Really?
Yeah, they basically were stopped by a storm, and then they were like, the Japanese were like, "Oh, the gods have intervened. It's the divine wind."
Right, right. Interesting. The kami from Japan were like, hey,
Yeah, no,
Alrighty.
it's like, you know, that's where the word kamikaze was originally used. Divine wind, the wind that sank the Mongolian invasion fleet.
I see. I actually didn't know the origins of that. What a fluke. Nerf weather condition impact.
See, and the funny thing is, this is not even rare because, like, in 1588, the Spanish and the English were having at it, and the Spanish fleet sank in a storm.
There you go.
It's like, don't mess with the weather.
All right, y'all. Well, it is 8 o'clock. It's time for us to head out.
Yep.
But you know, it's the weekend. Hope everybody has a good time.
Well, I mean, weekend soon, not quite yet.
Well, it's gonna be the weekend. We won't see you until next week. So while you're off enjoying yourselves, think only of us. But anyways, thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening with us, or Thursday morning, whatever it may be for you. But we really do appreciate you all. I know
See
I
y'all.
know I speak for us, the designers and everybody. Thank you so much for your feedback on the Vauban update beta. If you still haven't played it, definitely go and check it out. You can always go and exclamation mark Vauban. I was like, I don't have a command for that on the stream deck, but exclamation mark Vauban will take you to the blog where you can read on exactly how to get access to it. If
The
you're
one
interested.
thing you can't test yet, which a lot of people have been looking forward to, is Steam Workshop.
Yeah, the Steam Workshop, I'm very interested to see what's different about it than mod.io. So
It works very similar, but I think it's just convenient for people when they're already on Steam.
yeah, I get convenience. Quality of life, baby. Take care. See you later, Sandam, Oscar, Chenglini, Snuff, Wolf,
See y'all.
Robzig, Rex. We love you. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. See you later.